Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Early Late Nights, the show where kids are still refusing to go to bed because it's still too light outside. I am your host, Ciaran Martin, and what a fantastic Friday it has been before this long weekend. Hope you're excited because I'm excited. I only found out about the public holiday on Wednesday, which is fantastic. Thank you for joining me in the brand new Early Late Nights newsroom. Look how spectacular it is. Look at that view. Wow. So beautiful. Sorry, audio listeners, but there is a beautiful view of a river now behind me, and I'm joined by my new co-host, Bevan, who's silent but deadly, so you won't hear much of him. On tonight's show, we have a jam-packed roster of news for you with a few special additions. We're going to be talking Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which has been announced with a release date and news on that. Another topic will be Far Cry 5 DLC and how crazy that is. I'll be going into one of my weekly tidbits, and we will be having the very first ever Explosion Network's Early Late Nights Gamer Spotlight, which is not that long of a name. It will be shortened probably to Early Late Nights Gamer Spotlight maybe, but you'll find out what that is a bit later. But first, fuck you, Nintendo. Fuck you. I love you. I really do love you. But my problem is with you. I have a slight problem with you, and I'm sorry. So, I'm new. I am new to the gaming news circle. It's what I do. It's what I do now, apparently, here on the Explosion Network. But, I'm just still trying to learn. So last night, yesterday afternoon, I was like, I'm gonna get this show down. I'm gonna get this show done. Organised the topics. Got my shit together. Nintendo, no, Ciaran. We've had a direct plan for weeks. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. 6:30 this morning, direct comes out. Whole bunch of news. It's not even one of these boring directs. It's not even one of these boring directs, so fuck you, Nintendo. Fuck you. Because we're going to be talking about, for our first topic, we're going to be talking about all the release dates that have come out. As I was saying on our Tuesday edition of the show, these release dates are going to keep coming now that Red Dead Redemption 2 is out of the way. Now that we know that release date, these days are going to keep on flowing. And we've had so many. Today alone there's been so many. So, just to quickly go over what happened at the Direct, just a few of the games that were announced. Super Smash Bros. Got announced. Holy fucking shit, coming to the Switch. We've got Mario Tennis Aces coming to the Switch. Luigi's Mansion coming to the 3DS. I've got a problem with that. Put a pin in it. Pin it. Captain Toad is coming July 13th. We've got Crash Bandicoot coming July 10th on the Switch. On the Switch, people! And also it's coming on Xbox the same day. Exciting that is a time release. That I didn't pick up Crash for the PlayStation. I'm going to probably pick it up on my Switch, because why not? You know, as if not have that game to, run around and stuff and hang out. So, I am super excited about Crash. Probably one of my favorite announcements from the Direct. And there's a whole bunch of announcements. I'm not going to go through them all because it would take me way too long. It would be equivalent of the Nintendo Direct if I went through them. But Super Smash Bros. There is a lot of speculation going on right now. Whether we're going to be having a new one or if it's just going to be a port. In my opinion, I don't care too much because I never had a Wii U. There's one of the controversies about this Direct was, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's ports and remasters. And I'm like, I don't care. Keep giving them to me. I didn't own a Wii U. And so many people didn't own a Wii U that they've now got this opportunity to port all these games from their Wii U catalog to their Switch catalog and continue the growth of the Switch catalog. You know how awesome that is? You know how fantastic that is for me as a gamer? Because that's when I bought the Switch and when I started playing Mario Kart Deluxe 8, I was so excited, and I was like, just, Nintendo, I don't need you to have, brand new classics out at the minute. Just give me these games that I missed. I've always wanted to play Captain Toad. I've always wanted to play Smash Brothers that was on the Switch. I don't care. I'm happy either way if it's brand new or an old one, but it is fantastic. But we are not alone, people. It's not all. There's still more games that were announced, and that's the ridiculous thing. It's all just coming. Tidal Wave, as episode 1 was announced, release date Tidal Wave, that tsunami grew, and it hit me full force this morning when I woke up. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, not my favourite game or biggest announcement because, it's a big franchise, but part of me wants them to do what Assassin's Creed did, take a year off. take a year off, go find yourself again, come back to me with your equivalent of Assassin's Creed Origins, make it a fantastic game. I know they've got different groups and different devs working on them. Still, it's a bit oversaturated in that market because I get them so often and I'm so bored of them. And as a gamer, as a regular gamer or a constant gamer, I don't know how to word it very well, it is always something in my mind where I'm just over Call of Duty. I'm just over it. I can't stand it anymore. So I hope this game's good. I hope it's good. I hope it makes me want to play it. I hope the story's good because the original Black Ops stories were awesome. They were so fantastic. But we will find out as this goes on. The release date for that one was October 12th. Which is interesting because it's still kind of near to Red Dead Redemption 2, so we'll see how that dances around. It probably shouldn't be affected, it's Call of Duty, but we'll see if sales are affected at all, or at least player base could definitely be affected by Red Dead coming out. And the other game I want to highlight is State of Decay 2, coming out May 22nd, for a cheap price of $50 here in Australia, which I think is a fantastic price. It is an exclusive game to Xbox and Microsoft. So I am really looking forward to that game. The first game was fantastic. I myself had a few problems with one of those games that kept going if you walked away from it. So like in the background, you'd log in 3 days after you last played and it'd be like, all your people are dead! And I'd be like, no! But it's fine. It's all fine. I hope they fix it. If they don't, it is what it is, they say. But this is all the game announcements we've received already for 2018. 2018 is building to be this fantastic year of gaming, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be a Nintendo Switch owner. If you don't have a Switch, maybe grab one, because there's going to be a mountain of games to play on this console, and you can take it anywhere. It's why I'm going to buy Crash on it, is because I want to be able to take Crash and play it on my lunch break. Or I've got a few minutes while I'm waiting for something, I'm just going to grab my Switch and play some Crash, and I really hope that it continues that momentum. A lot of people were saying 2017 they had such a fantastic year, maybe they blew their load. No, they didn't. They can keep doing this. They can keep carrying on. 2018 is already shaping up to look like it's going to be a great year for them, so who knows what's going to happen. It has been recently announced that it sold better in its first year than both the PlayStation and the Xbox, which is both crazy, which is a ridiculous sum, considering when Nintendo was 18 months ago and we were like, they're done. One more console release, they're dead. They'll be making games for our consoles. So that is fantastic news that they've come around and managed to bring it around. And really thank to their Nintendo fans for holding on and sticking with them through that terrible Fisher-Price piece of crap that was the Nintendo Wii U. I'm so sorry, Nintendo fans. Now, story number 2. The second story of the evening, as I mentioned earlier, Pathfinder, 2nd edition. A lot of you video game players probably are like, what the hell is this thing this kid's talking about? What is this kid speaking about? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a tabletop RPG. It's a tabletop game. It's a board game with pencils and paper. And well, it's moving towards computer nowadays, but, And I do want to try and find a place in this show for tabletop stuff because I love tabletop games. I love them so much. They are so interesting, so full of customization. The limits that, video games are kept to limits because that's what they're programmed, are kind of just taken off. So Pathfinder 2 is going to be coming out, the 2nd edition is going to be coming out 2nd of August. So the 2nd of August for the 2nd edition. It's going to include things like 10th level spells. It's going to streamline proficiencies, which is a big talking point for me, and I'm really glad to see it happen because if you're not a big fan of tabletop games, Pathfinder was this game that happened after Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition came out. Nobody really liked it. They released Pathfinder and D&D 3.5 at the same time, and they're kind of very similar games. And one of my frustration is I hate in 3.5 and in Pathfinder, I hate the proficiencies because there's just too many of them. There is just too many. No player needs to have that many proficiencies. You're making the game too hard. So I'm really glad to see that they're streamlining those and streamlining actions. And also, my favourite announcement of it, because it's been done in D&D recently, but it's good to see it in Pathfinder, goblins! Goblins are now playable characters, people! That's my goblin voice for when I'll play a goblin in Pathfinder. I don't know. They'll probably change it. They'll probably be different. I love goblins, so they're always fun. The 400-page rulebook and the test adventure are going to be released free online. It comes with either in a hard format or a soft cover format if you're going to buy it physically. It's also going to come with a cheat sheet to help you understand the new rule changes, as well as I believe they're changing the way initiative works a little bit, as well as the actions taken during the combat phases. So I'm so excited for that. Tweet at me at your boy Ringo if you want to hear more about tabletop games. If you've got a tabletop game that you want to see featured on the show, I'd love to talk about it and try it out, because the games are fantastic and there is still a media for them, I believe. There's still a place for them to live and to grow on our network and in our space of pop culture. So please keep an eye out for that, and I'm going to keep bringing you more news on games such as D&D, Pathfinder, and whatever other systems catch my fancy, probably. And topic number 3. Now, I'm not a fan of Far Cry. I'm not. I've been honest about that. I'm not the greatest Far Cry fan. I remember finishing Far Cry 1. Far Cry 2 was cool, but I found it a bit too hard. I didn't really want to deal with malaria. Far Cry 3, I loved until a slight spoiler in the middle. One of the main characters dies. Well, the main villain dies, and it breaks my heart because he's so fantastic. Far Cry 4, not so much. I've technically finished Far Cry 4 because I did the whole, sit down and wait for Pagan Min to come back. But I didn't play much after that. I maybe played 1 or 2 more play sessions after that one. Far Cry Primal, yeah. But Far Cry 5, once again, was not interested when I first saw this game. When I first saw this game in Hope County and the setting, which was interesting. It's interesting, especially in today's political climate for America. It's a very interesting thing to look at. But it's just, I played it at PAX Australia, Yeah, it's more Far Cry. I don't need that. But this thing happened, and I think it's incredibly smart. I think it's so smart. They released what's going to be part of the season passes already. So they've named them. They've showed you what each one is. So it's going to be coming up. There's already 3 major ones announced, which is Dead Living Zombies, which is going to be, of course, a zombie DLC. There's Hours of Darkness, which is set in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and Lost on Mars, which, of course, is going to be on Mars. They are so different, and as you can see, the posters are so well designed and eclectic to look at and interesting that I'm kind of tempted to buy both Far Cry 5 and a Season Pass, just so I can enjoy it and check it out. Because there's so much to this game already. They've announced Season Passes. They've announced, if you buy the Season Pass, you also get Far Cry 3, the Classic Edition. Which, as I said previously, I didn't finish Far Cry 3, but I would be tempted to grab it again, just so I could experience the bits that I did love of that game once more. Even if it means I only play half the game and then I stop. But what a fantastic Season Pass, and I would love to see more developers and publishers do this for their games, because it's gathered hype. People who weren't interested in this game are now interested, such as myself. You've put a promise down in writing for your Season Pass. That's what the biggest issue is for everybody. Season Pass is when you first release a game, nobody knows what they're going to get. Nobody knows what's going to come out of that Season Pass. And that is a bit of a worry. You could have Batman Arkham Knight happen to you, and some people love the DLC for that game. Dylan the colleague from the network, he loves the DLC for that game, or really appreciated it, but nobody else seemed to, and it was a bit of a letdown. So people are wary nowadays of the Season Pass and what it could bring. I've bought Season Passes and I've never gone back to the game. Fallout 4, I bought a Season Pass for. I don't think I've touched the DLC. Put 40 hours into that game in the first week. I haven't gone back for the DLC, and it's on my list of things to do one day. It's probably go back and play some more Fallout 4, because it was a good game. I loved it. I love Fallout. I don't know why I didn't, play more, but it happens and life goes on, especially when these games are released in such close proximity to each other that I get a week or 2 with another one before a game catches my eye again and I move on to the next. So I'll be interested to see if I go back. If I do buy that Season Pass, it'll be interesting if I ever play them. But hey, good job Ubisoft, good job the Far Cry devs, because it is going to be a very good Season Pass in my opinion. It's going to be excellent. And those are our 3 weekly stories. Please, if you ever have a story to involve in our top 3 topics, please jump in, tweet at me, send them through. But we're going to move on this week to what I call Ciaran's Tidbit. Ciaran's Tidbit is going to be a portion of the show where I get to have a chat to you about something, have a wander or a gander through the world of my personal thoughts and my opinions. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks and how this evolves. Because this week I want to talk about something a little special. Special for me. And there's not going to be any major spoilers, so don't stress about that as we dive into the series that is currently Life is Strange. And I've called this tidbit Farewell to Chloe and Max. Because if you aren't a Life is Strange fan or you haven't heard, the bonus episode that came with the deluxe edition of Life is Strange Before the Storm came out this week. And it's about an hour and a half, sorry, if you think time of length of a game is a spoiler. It's about an hour and a half of game. And it goes through a bit of the relationship between Chloe and Max and lets you have a bit of closure on that, have a bit of more time to say farewell. But I want to go through because, Before the Storm was a fantastic game in my opinion. It had its problems and, it rushed some things, but the character studies of those games was fantastic. Was so brilliant to learn these characters and understand these characters. Life is Strange Max is such an individual character and a real character. I could, walk into the mall and probably find another person that's like Max or another person that's like Chloe. And I find that so interesting and enthralling when it comes to, games. When it comes to these style of games that I love adventure games. I love the old point-and-click games. I love Telltale games because they're movies, they're stories that I play through and I understand. And stories are my favourite parts of video games. It's what I play video games for. Most of the time is to relax and to see a story. So to see the Life is Strange story play through, and for me it's very special because I've only played through it pretty recently and in a compact format. And these characters are really something. Each game... Well, the two, Before the Storm enhances my love for Life is Strange because of how it adds in information about Chloe, makes Chloe more of my character or my understanding. It goes into some deep and dark territories and stuff like the twist in the start of the end of episode 4 and the start of episode 5 is ridiculous. It's crazy to even think about. It's such a jarring experience, and I want to say goodbye to both Chloe and Max because we're not gonna the chances of us seeing these two again in the next game's very low. Well, very low. We're not gonna. I'm guessing they're gonna move on and they're going to find something new, and that's fine because I'm really happy with the Life is Strange and the ending we just got. I've never been brought to tears or emotionally distraught by a game. Never. Not to the point Life is Strange does to me. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't a massive fan of the farewell episode until the last 5 minutes. It was okay. I played through it. It was like, oh yeah, no, I understand what's going on here. Cool. Funny, nice little tidbits. And then the last 5 minutes hit. And I stood there afterwards and I kind of went, wow. These characters mean something to me, and I would love to, any developers that ever see this, and I hope somebody sees this, thank you so much for those kind of games, and please, bring those characters to life. Don't be scared of making your audience care for your character, because Chloe and Max are very special for me, and I'll always remember both their characters. And I'll always want to go back. I'm already thinking about playing Life is Strange again because of the experience of Before the Storm. It's just one of those things that we, continue to explore and expand on and really grow. And we need to see more of this if video games are going to grow as a media. If video games are going to change and expand and become this full format like movies, like TV. I'd love to see us in the Oscars. TV isn't in the Oscars. Video games can be. Have you seen the performance of these two people? Have you seen Ashley Birch playing this character? Even though she didn't get to do it in Before the Storm, Chloe was fantastic in the first game. And the adventure you went on of their friendship as it grew, as it changed, as the time travel elements of the first game really shown. And then, in Before the Storm, your growing relationship with Rachel Amber. The game was showing you your relationship with the character. Showing you your take on that character. And I feel like that's truly special. that is something that not everybody gets to replicate the same story. Even though it's written like that, it's coded that way. Your emotions, your thoughts are so individual for those games that I think it's fantastic. So thank you so much for bringing us Life is Strange. Thank you. Thank you for giving us Chloe and Max. I can't wait to see what Life is Strange Season 2 is going to be. I can't wait to see what anybody of the development team does for their next game. Because I am all in already. Because you've won my heart. And thank you. And that was a bit soppy, wasn't it? I'm so sorry. It's fine. So, we have had a massive week here on the Explosion Network, and I just want to bring it up that we have had a growth. The launch of Top 5 with Nick has been fantastic, so thank you very much. Nick is so overwhelmed and impressed by the reaction to his season, his show, that we are going to be excited to reveal the rest of the show and see what happens. Now, other shows that have been brought out that I didn't get to talk about on Tuesday, I really want you to jump in and have a look at Tales of Theldon. With a throwback to the earlier topic about Pathfinder, Tales of Theldon is our Dungeons & Dragons podcast. And it is a fantastic pod. I'm going to be biased. I think it's a really good, fantastic podcast. The world and the other characters other than the main three are characters written by myself. It's my world, my creation, and I've been working on Theldon for so long. I've always had Theldon in my head, always piecing it together and bringing that lore in and changing what I love about high fantasy and bringing it in and growing it. So I am so grateful as an opportunity to have a platform to show you, a platform to bring Theldon to the world and get some advice, maybe change it for the better, or maybe see things that I haven't seen before through my audience's eyes. So please check out Tales of Theldon. We released the prologue, episode 0. It's a shorter episode. I must apologise, my audio is slightly bad for it because I didn't have a pop filter straight away, but that's okay. It gets fixed pretty quickly for episode 1. But we've also got, if you go to explosionnetwork.com and you go to the Tales of Theldon page, there is also the backstories for our 3 main characters, which are Leaf Estelle, the half-elf warlock, who's being played by Dylan. We have Charlidris, the bronze dragonborn fighter, being played by Tom, and Cornelius Bannister, the human wizard. I forgot for a second. The human teenage wizard, played by Ashley Hobley. And they're 3 fantastic characters that I've had the pleasure to see grow over the course of the season, and these players grow in D&D. So it is amazing and interesting to watch them grow. So please check out the backstories. We're releasing them over the next couple of weeks. Leaf's was released this week. Next week we'll be releasing Charlidris's, I believe. It might be the week after. Probably next week. But it's gonna be a fantastic show, and I please welcome you. I invite you to join us on the ride that is Tales of Theldon. Now, for the early late nights gamer spotlight. This is a segment of the show that I would love you to be involved with. I would love you to be involved with. Each Friday for our show, I want to be able to highlight a personality, a gaming person, a Twitch streamer, YouTube content creator, a article, a journalist, a website, anything you want to be. It's all yours, but we want to be able to highlight them and bring a new audience to them. Bring a new part of our community to them because they have had an influence on your life, or they are a good role model in our community, or they've brought constant great content, and maybe you just don't feel like they've been given their recognition for that, and that's what I want this for. So this week is my personal choice, is a Twitch streamer by the name of Haniel Darrison. I've been watching his streams over the last couple of weeks, and I find them so interesting, so fantastic. He plays a wide range of games. The community is so involved. They raise so much money for charity. His community is so giving and so loving that they help him out, and he's clearly somebody they look up to and respect because they are so willing to help this man. And his content is fantastic. His work with green screens is amazing. It's something very different, and he's a very genuine man. I got to watch him freak out because his audience donated him $800 as a collective to buy a new microphone and a new stand. And he had this mini freak out on Twitch during the stream that it was amazing. Everything kind of stopped, and he had to call his dad, and his dad's very involved in the stream. And the look on his face and the pure thankful and gratefulness of it really, brought a tear to my eye in many ways. So I wanted to shout out to him. Please check out his channel and go follow at some point. Twitch.tv/HanielDarrison. Go say hi from the Explosion Network. I'm a big supporter of his. You'll probably find me in chat there most days. He is a fantastic person and a fantastic role model. He's been on YouTube for many years, and his Twitch career in the last year has gone forward and grown, and he's developed such a beautiful community that I hope that we can do the same in the future here. So thank you to him. Thank you to Haniel Darrison. I hate you for changing the letters around on the names. It makes me so confused. I want to fix it in my head before I say it, but I don't. But thank you. We support you and we appreciate you here on the Explosion Network. So thank you very much. You are our very first gamer spotlight for early late nights. And there's going to be many more. And I can't wait to bring some new talent to you each and every Friday. Now, before we get into the 60-second media madness, we better wrap up the show. This has been Early Late Nights with Ciaran Marchant, the show that lets you get tucked into bed at night and lets you have some warm milk at the same time. It's a fantastic new gaming show, full of news, full of content that I'm excited to bring you 2 times a week here on the Explosion Network. Right here on twitch.tv/Explosion Network at 6:30 p.m. every Tuesday and Friday, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Holy crap, I did it! I did it! I got it right, people! Yes! Thank you for correcting me last week, guys. Well, not last week. Last Tuesday. Thank you for correcting me. But if you can't catch us on Twitch, that's fine. That's completely okay. Catch us the day after, 24 hours later, on all good podcast streaming services, as well as youtube.com. Explosion Network's channel, bit.ly/Explosion Network. I think that goes there. Probably goes there. There'll be a link underneath in the podcast or YouTube. Don't worry. It's fine. You'll find it. Thank you so much for joining me live. I will be here in about 5 minutes in the chat to hang out, talk, and then play some Fortnite. And that happens each and every show. I will be in the chat hanging out in the post-show of each one. Now, thank you very much. Please give the channel a follow, twitch.tv/Explosion Network, where you are right now. Or if you're listening, jump over, give us a follow, subscribe, give us a review. Those 5 stars could be fantastic, and I would appreciate each and every one of them. And now for our final segment of the show, because we all know there is just too much news. Just too much news. So, 60 seconds of media madness is incoming with a 60-second countdown timer. Thank goodness I've fixed the audio issues, because it was a slobber knocker on Tuesday. I will get through as many stories as I can in the 60 seconds, and then it'll be the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining me. Ready, set, go. Fortnite goes mobile. Holy crap. It's going to be on the mobile phone. You're going to be walking around. You're going to be able to play things and fight and really get in there and get those chicken dinners. Oh, wait, it's not chicken dinners in Fortnite. Whatever. Winner Royales. You're going to be your Winner Royales. Speaking of chicken dinners, PUBG. New map. It's going to be a smaller map built for custom games and for those custom servers. Because, you don't want to be in a custom server and be able to run around and really find anybody. It takes ages. It sucks. Big maps, not a fan. Small maps, could be hectic and I could love it. Zelda mod was just released where you can make a Zelda, No, you can't make a Zelda. You make Link into a girl if you wish to play through the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can make that modification and make Link your very own character in your own image. South Park was released is going to be released as part of the Switch, which was announced in Nintendo Direct. Sea of Thieves got a scale test. More changes to the Overwatch new character Brigitte, and please leave Tony Hawk alone. He's nothing to do with Activision anymore. Goodbye.